my goodness, what is up with you guys? I hope that you guys are doing well. But guys, we are halfway through the summer, and I know we don't like to say the school word, but school is coming up really close. But you know what? Let's not talk about school because I don't want to be talking about school, but I want to hear about what you guys did this summer. Did you guys do anything cool this week? Let me know. Throw some hands in the chat if you guys went to Wonderland. If I were in the chat, I probably wouldn't have thrown my hand up because your girl's not good with rides. I'd probably be holding your bags if we went, just to give you a heads up. But let me know if you guys went to Wonderland or if you guys went to the beach, maybe even camping. And if you did go camping, I want to know, did you guys go in like the traditional tent or did you guys like go to a cabin? I want to know down below. But I can imagine that you guys did so many things, and I hope that you guys continue to enjoy the rest of your summer well. I've been really enjoying this series that we've been doing in August so far. Have you guys? I think it's been super good. But I think it's really cool looking at the different fruits of the Spirit and just seeing the different places that we can see God. Because there's so many different ways that we can see Him and so many different places that we can see Him. If I were to think about myself, I honestly see God when I'm having my joy-filled moments. So for me, I can see Him when I feel the joys of a sunset or the beauty of nature. I feel like those would be the times that I see God the most. And there are so many places and different spaces that you guys might be able to feel God. And if so, I want you guys to think about it really quick and write down some of that down below, because I know there's people of you guys in the chat, so make sure you guys are doing that down below. But I want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. This week's video is gonna be a bit different. Don't panic, I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. But it is definitely a lot more interactive, this video. And in order for it to be interactive, we need participants. So I'm gonna ask you guys, yes, you listening right now, to participate down in the chat. One way that we can get the most out of these online gatherings is by talking to each other and being a part of community and being present in moments like these, present in the chat, because I know that you guys are out there listening. I see you guys chatting away. But there will be questions that are gonna be asked throughout today's video. So it's gonna basically be within today's video teaching. And I want you guys to be talking to each other. We're all friends here, and I know you guys are all watching. So if you guys haven't already, give you guys some opportunities, but jump into the chat right now, okay? Are you guys there? I hope so. But I will see you guys after the video. Make sure that you guys are participating today. See ya!
Friends, my name is Jess, and I am so glad you're here today. I am convinced that everyone will learn something new from this conversation. And today, we're asking this question: where did you see God today? It's a way to help us pause to look for the goodness of God in the people, the places, the situations, and more that are part of our everyday lives. And today, we're gonna talk about how we can become the kind of people who show that same goodness of God to the world around us. We're gonna mix things up a little bit. You're with your small group now, and that's because we're going to dive into group time right here today. In fact, let's start right now. With your group, talk about this question: where did you see God today? When I think about where I see God today, I think about students just like you. When I see you have fun together and grow in your faith and discover more about God, that's where I see God's goodness at work every single week. One of the ways we've said we can see God in ourselves and others is to look for the fruit of the Spirit in their lives. And just like the fruit from a tree tells us about the tree it comes from, you can learn a lot about a person by the qualities they have. And when we're walking step by step with God, our qualities reflect God. See, when we believe in God, God's Spirit comes to live inside of us. And as we grow in our faith, God's Spirit grows qualities in our lives that make us more like God. Those qualities put together are commonly known as the fruit of the Spirit. And we find the list of qualities that make up the fruit of the Spirit in a letter in the Bible called Galatians. And the fruit of the Spirit is made up of these qualities: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That's That's a pretty good list, right? I mean, I definitely want to be a person who's a little bit more of all of those things. When my Wi-Fi is slow, I definitely need more patience. When I'm frustrated with my friend, I could use a little more gentleness in my words. When someone is consistently rude to me, a little help to be loving toward them would go a long way. What about you? Which of these 9 fruit of the Spirit do you feel least familiar with? Take some time and talk with your group now. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that some of your answers were really similar, and some of them were really different. And of course, there's nothing wrong with having different ideas. In fact, that's one thing I really love about small groups. It's a place for different people with different backgrounds to share their different ideas and experiences with each other. If you were all talking about the same thing with the same thoughts and the same opinions, it would be a pretty boring conversation each week, right? But while some differences are awesome, they can sometimes make things a little more difficult. I mean, have you ever tried to have a conversation about something with a person who doesn't know what you're talking about? Like, if you were to talk about football with someone from Europe only to discover that their football actually means soccer? Or when you tell someone you love them and you mean as a friend, but they think you mean you love them? Or when you post a comment on someone's TikTok trying to be kind, but that person reads it the wrong way, thinking you were rude? My point is this. Seeing the fruit of the Spirit starts with knowing what to look for. So let's go back to that list in Galatians. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I think most of us have an idea of how we define each of these qualities. But do we really know what they mean? This is important because seeing the fruit of the Spirit starts with knowing what to look for. And we can't see the qualities of the fruit in our lives if we don't know what they mean for us. So, with your group, you're going to have some time to talk about each of these qualities by answering the questions on the screen. When time is up, you'll move on to talk about the next quality of the fruit of the Spirit. The goal is that we'll all learn more about what we can look for in our lives and in the world around us. So, let's get started with the first quality, love. The second quality of the fruit of the Spirit is joy. Go ahead and talk with your group about joy. Now, we're moving on to another quality of the fruit of God's Spirit, peace. Next up, patience. Now, we're on to kindness. Time to move on to the next one, goodness. Next up, faithfulness. Let's keep going. Next up is gentleness. Last one. Let's finish by talking about self-control. And that's all 9 qualities of the fruit of the Spirit. If you're anything like me, understanding what these qualities look like makes me want to be more like that in my own life. I want to be more loving, more kind, more patient. I want to practice self-control and experience more peace. And if I had to guess, you do too. The more we understand what the qualities of the fruit of God's Spirit really are, the easier it will be for us to spot those things in ourselves and in others. The easier it will be to let the Spirit help us become more like God in our everyday lives. Because seeing the fruit of the Spirit starts with knowing what to look for. So now that we know what these qualities of God's fruit actually look like and what they mean, what do we do with them? How do we see and even grow some of these things in our own lives? I think we can start by doing these 2 things. 1, look for the fruit. Look for where you see these qualities of the fruit in real life. Don't think just about how you define the qualities, but instead think about the real meanings of these words that we just learned to help you find them. And 2, take 1 step to connect with God. Remember, developing the qualities of God's fruit in your life isn't something you can do on your own. They only show up in our lives when we're connected to God. So, our first move always needs to be to take a step closer to God. When we spend time with God, these qualities will start showing up in our lives more easily. My hope is that our time together today not only helped you understand more of what the fruit of God's Spirit looks like in your life, but that it also encouraged you to see how God can grow more of those things in your life. Your group and your group leader want to keep encouraging you to grow these qualities in your life. So point it out when you see someone in your group showing one of the qualities we talked about today. I want to encourage encourage you to keep this conversation going and keep learning more about each of these qualities, because seeing the fruit of the Spirit starts with knowing what to look for.
That was a lot of good information, and I hope that you guys were able to just chat with each other throughout all of it. Maybe there were some moments you guys needed to pause, which is understandable, but I hope that you guys were able to participate in that way. A good point that was made in today's story was that seeing the fruits of the Spirit start with knowing what to look for. I'll say that one more time. Seeing the fruits of the Spirit starts with knowing what to look for. We can talk about the fruits of the Spirit all day. We talk about it a lot at church, we hear about it at church, but just talking about it kind of just scratches the surface of it. Once we really take the time to look into each, we can see how they look, we can recognize those qualities not only in others, but even ourselves. And we can also start to see the different areas that we need to work on more. And I bet as we were listening in today's teaching, there were some fruits that you guys heard of that you know that you have not seen the most in your own life. And I know for myself, there are days that I can definitely be more patient. There are days when I want to just kind of rush through things or get through things quickly. And when I do that, I kind of miss the moment because I want quick results. However, sometimes that leads to me like missing the cool parts of life because I don't want to be patient. I kind of want things to happen now. So what about you guys? What are some fruits of the Spirit that you want to be shown more in your life? Answer those down below. We learned that we can see God in different ways. And earlier today, I shared with you guys how I feel and see God in nature and when I feel joy. But if you guys didn't get a chance earlier today, I want to give you guys a chance now. I want to hear from you guys right now, maybe just for today alone. What is one way that you guys have seen God today? So it could be an experience, it could be a feeling, it could be anything that you felt like you saw God in, and I want you guys to share that down below with each other. Thank you guys for participating today. I know there was a lot for us to talk about, but I just wanted to thank those of you who decided to participate and lean in. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, it's easy for us to just sit back and watch and listen to leader Aaron or myself talk, but we honestly get the most out of these services when we decide to lean in and participate. But I'm gonna close this off in prayer, and I hope you guys have a good day. Dear Jesus, thank you for today, God, and thank you for this lesson. I just pray that we're able to recognize the different fruits of the Spirit that we might be lacking, whether it be love, joy, gentleness. I just pray that we're able to recognize those things. And this week, I just pray that we're able to go out and challenge ourselves to show more of those fruits and help grow those fruits. So whether it be being more patient, if that's something that we want to work on, I pray that we find ways to be patient. If it's love, I just pray that we find different ways to be loving. I just pray that we make the efforts to go and help grow those fruits in our lives so people can recognize those fruits in ourselves and that could lead them to you. And I just pray all these things in your name. Amen. 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 I hope that you guys have a good rest of the day, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.